up, Robin? What's up, Shane? That's right, spreading some truth. So I'm just gonna look for a cool spot right now first, and then set up. It's gonna be either at the end of this block here, or maybe at the beginning of the next one. We'll see. This guy's asleep right here. It's kind of funny. What's up, Tony? What's up, Shifty Eyes? Yeah, every day. You know, the mainstream media might be trying to slow the truth down, you know, but little by little, you know, it's growing. It takes more of an effort for them to try to stop this from growing than the truth actually just spreading organically, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, they're shedding it for sure. They're trying to figure out a way to like control this information in a way, you know. They wanna control release, you know. That's what they're trying to do. So yeah, I'll probably go back to where I posted last time, because I mean they're setting up right here already. So I'll go across the street. Probably set up where I set up last time when I spoke to the math teacher. Oh, it's gonna be next to the Bible people here. Well, I don't know what religion this is exactly. I'm assuming like Christians. Right here on the left. Yeah. Alright. Let's go post up. The street looks nice, but let me see. Might be right here, or somewhere over there. Let me. It might just be right here. You know. I mean, yeah, we'll do it right here. All right. Put this down first. Oh shoot. What's up, David Banner? What's up, base truther? Got kind of tongue tied right there. Thanks, base truther. I enjoy doing them too, so that's good. Mark Gregory, what's up? Alright, this is what it looks like. Let me just go ahead. Switch that to the... Alright, so this is where I'm at. There's kind of a lot going on over there too, but... And that's the table right there. Alright. Oh damn, I gotta set up the action camera, I almost forgot. Alright, I'll leave this like this for now. Okay, that should be better. What's up, Thong Mass? No, yeah. A lot of the times, people don't like to interact. Most of the time, actually. Most people, most of the time, don't like to interact with, especially with new people. You know, most people don't even want to interact with their own families, you know, yet alone, you know, strangers. But I guess it could be easier for some people to talk to strangers and their own family. I mean, kind of the reason why I kind of do this too, you know, to try to reach, you know, people outside of my circle, you know, out of my friends and out of my family. So I think it's like one of the best ways to actually get information out. You know, if it wasn't for the internet, this is the way, you know, to share information. Literally, it's to go out in the real world, talking to real people, sharing real information, or whatever, you know, information you have. You know, it could be pseudoscience as well. I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure when they first started brainwashing people with the globe Earth, people had to physically go and do presentations, you know, before the internet. You know, so again, it all comes back to, you know, to the basics. You know. What's up, Jeff? What's up, Lee? To be honest, not all towns are this dead. I am here a little early. Usually, like, downtown areas get packed or busy in the afternoons. Usually after 12, you know, after 1, 2, you know, especially, you know, it goes on to like the evening. That's when it starts to get more crowded in the downtown areas. Well, at least here in California. And right now it is 11:16 a.m. So it is a little early. Early bird gets the worm, right? So we'll see. Yeah, actually, I'm on my way home from work right now. I did a small job this morning, so I figured on the way home, stop here. You know, it was on my way, so yeah. that saying, I don't really like the kill two birds with one stone. As a vegan, I don't like that. I don't like that saying. That's funny. No, that's right, Shifty Ice. People getting divorced, you know, losing long, you know, life friendships and stuff like that, you know. Even getting fired from work, I'm pretty sure, you know, your boss didn't like that, and you know, so there's a lot of shit going on just for bringing this information up, you know. A lot of people's lives are being affected, you know, but it's all because of people's ignorance. That's why people's lives are being affected, you know. And they should be getting affected, but in a positive way, you know. Sharing this information should affect everybody's lives in a positive way, if you ask me, you know what I'm saying? But it's the opposite is happening right now, you know. But it can't last forever. That's the trick, you know. We have to be consistent, you know. That's literally how the globe was pushed on us. Literally, it's being pushed left, right, and center, you know, from schools, from, you know, Hollywood to, you know, everything. It's in jokes, even, you know, stand-up comedians, you know. You know, even if they're doing it deliberately, it doesn't matter. They're doing it, you know what I'm saying? And even if they're not doing it deliberately, they're subliminally brainwashing people without even knowing, which is even, it's like a double subliminal, you know what I'm saying? Like, but a lot of celebrities do that, you know. Again, I don't know if they're doing it deliberately or not, but I'm pretty sure they are, you know. But that's irrelevant. The fact is, they're doing it. They're brainwashing people, you know, and it's everywhere, you know. And yeah, in order to combat that, you know, you gotta be consistent too, you know. A lot of this stuff, you know, in flat Earth, right? It's you know, it might seem repetitive, you know, and stuff like that, because I mean, reality is what it is. So you're gonna repeat yourself, you know, if you want people to understand. You're gonna have to find different ways to explain things, you know, different methods to show, you know, what you're trying to explain so that people can get it. Not everybody thinks exactly the same, you know. Some people think a little bit different. So, you know, just that's why, you know, we need more people out here talking, you know, because I can only reach so many people, you know, I'm pretty sure someone else, you know, maybe the way they speak might, you know, sound better to someone else, you know, and they might listen to them, you know, and it's a war for people's attentions right now, you know. Literally, that's the most expensive thing right now, is to pay attention, or to get someone to pay attention, you know. What's up, Lev? I never heard of that. That middle school FE club. Never heard of it. By the way, what you guys are seeing on the screen is exactly what I'm seeing. So yeah, this chat basically is gonna be part of the video now. Like, well, as long as I use it. So if people download this video or whatever, that chat is gonna stay as a part of the video. So that's cool. I mean, sometimes, you know, sometimes you guys have some pretty relevant things, you know, to say that you know, sometimes I forget to say, or even, you know, so it's good to have, you know, more minds in the same topic, you know. It's you know, brainstorming, right? You have a lot of minds just thinking, you know. You come up with better ideas that way. You challenge yourselves, opposed to just one person doing it by themselves, which is still possible, you know, but picture with this phone real quick. To see what the setup looks like, I'll have a camera set up specific, and this is how I have them set up. So I have the action camera with an attachment, you know, with a tripod, so it's right above the phone, and then I have the phone just. That's what it looks like from behind the scenes, right? All right. Another thing that I came to realize, that with trolls, right? Like these trolls on the internet, especially, like, oh my god, like in my opinion, you know, trolls, if you ask me, they are helping in a way, like they're useful. So here's how trolls are useful, especially good trolls. You know, I give it to good trolls. You know, I love to hear the best word salads, or, you know, the best arguments or explanations, you know, to defend the globe. Why? Because once I hear like the best the globe has, now I can, you know, basically focus on what they're talking about and destroy it, basically, you know what I'm saying? So the more arguments I hear, you know, of globers, you know, trying to like word salad, you know, and misrepresent reality, the more, you know, you can sharpen your skills, basically, you know what I'm saying? So in that sense, trolls are useful, you know, they're helping you be better or get better at destroying their own idiotic belief, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of ironic, you know. They don't realize it though. They think they're doing something good, you know. They think that, you know, that what they're saying is actually relevant, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it might be relevant to an ignorant person, you know what I'm saying? But in reality, you know, they're just giving, you know, people like me fuel, you know. So now we know what to look out for, you know, like. So yeah, I like just the only reason why I like to, you know, listen to some troll, you know, debates and stuff like that. And again, most of them suck. Most of them are just bad, you know. You got a few that, you know, can kind of word salad, you know, and, you know, makes you, you know, just makes you be a little bit more sharp to be able to catch it, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how they literally basically get one on people, is you're not paying attention to the small details that literally build their false foundation. You know, if you're not paying attention to the small details that builds their false foundation, then you're gonna get caught up in arguing the false foundation, and, you know, so you gotta focus on the fundamentals, especially when people are presenting stuff to you, you know, and that's how you're able to discern, you know. Bad press is still press. That's right, letter. That's true. Again, I don't have nothing against liars and, you know, deceivers and stuff like that. What gets me is my fellow human falling for it. You know, that's what kind of gets me. Because, you know, liars, you know, shitty people are always going to exist. You know, it's just a fact. You know, you're not going to be able to change that. You can't change everyone, you know. So shitty people are always going to exist. So what gets me is the gullible people, my friends, my peers, my fellow human, that fall for these childish tricks. You know, that's what gets me. And that's one of the main reasons more than trying to battle, you know, the globe. It's just trying to, you know, help my fellow human. That's one of the main reasons why I do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty crazy. No, yeah, obviously. That's why coming out to the public, you know, and speaking to people like that. Because again, even if this information was reaching a lot of people, and maybe the views are not in the thousands, maybe they're in the hundreds of thousands, they could easily change, you know, the views on YouTube and, you know, make it look like it doesn't have a lot of views. So to focus on the numbers, you're gonna just, I would say it's a bad thing. You know, you're just gonna, if you just focus, you know, to be real, I don't really pay attention to numbers. I pay attention to the content. You know, if the content is relevant, you know, and it's straight to the point and it makes sense, you know, and it aligns with our understanding of physics, then that's what I'm gonna go with, you know. So, but yeah, it comes down to personally sharing it, you know, because the censorship is real. It's everywhere, you know. The censorship, literally censoring on the internet, is the equivalent of book burnings back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, I'm glad that my videos have helped, you know. You know, talking to other people. That's part of the reason too why I do this, you know, to share a method of approach, you know, and to share the conversation too. Most importantly, it should be an open public conversation, you know. This is not a private conversation. This is an open public conversation that involves everybody, literally. That's true, Dan. That's where, you know, we need to sharpen our critical thinking skills. We got to put emotions aside. That's another thing, that's how they get us. The mainstream media, they always play on people's emotions with stories on the news, you know, like, oh, look at this with the mass shootings, for example. But yeah, they're always playing people's emotions. So you got to realize. There was a couple girls passing by. They were just looking and smiling. They slowed down. It looked like they wanted to come. Yeah, I guess they are coming. We'll see how it goes. Alright. So you guys want to give it a shot? Yeah. Okay, cool. So the first question is, are you guys honest and open-minded? Yes. Yes? Okay, so from 1 through 10, how open-minded would you say you are?
I think 8.
Okay, that's good.
Maybe like a 7.
Okay, that's good.
She's a 10.
No, yeah, you have to be at least a 5 to come up to the table if you ask me, you know? Yeah, so I have 3 very easy elementary level questions to test to see if you're really that open-minded or not.
Yeah.
So they're multiple choice. So the first one's the hardest, but then they get easier.
Okay.
All right, so.
It's an easy.
So I have 2 images here, and the reason I call them images is because one of them's a photograph and one of them's a painting. So I want to see if people can tell the difference. Which one's a photograph?
One, let's say the artist is very talented. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna say
Painting, photograph?
yes.
Okay, that was actually a trick question. They're both paintings. Yeah, so a lot of people would say they're both photographs,
Yeah.
you know, but they're actually both paintings. So I don't expect people to get this one because it's impossible to tell, obviously, but there is 2 reasons why I asked this question. It has to do with common sense. So the first reason is just believing someone opens the door to being deceived, because you believe me that once a photograph, that influences your choice. Right? So it's not good to just believe someone. Right?
Yeah.
I know it's not good to lie either, but I do it just to prove a point.
Yeah.
You know. So the second reason is if we want to determine something is real, an image is not good enough. Because if I showed you an image of me flying or me like carrying a giant elephant, would you believe I could do those things? No, right? Because that defies physics. Another point is if an image defies physics, we gotta throw that image away. You know? So the next 2 actually has to do with physics, so I couldn't lie to you. So it actually has to do with water. So could we agree once water, you know, it always needs a container like this, and once contained, it always seeks the lowest point. In other words, it always goes to the bottom. Because I could turn the bottle upside down, but water always goes down.
Yeah.
You never make the water stick to the top.
Yeah.
It always goes down. So since we understand that fact about water, you know, that it always seeks the bottom, I took two pictures, one like this and one like this, and I painted the water blue with food coloring just to make it easier to see the water. But since we understand that water always goes down, how I'm showing you these, which one is upside down? Which one's the one that I took upside down? The water bottle. There you go. Do you agree with her? So we understand that water always goes down, and the water's blue out because I painted it with food coloring. Which one of these two images is upside down?
Wait,
no,
change my answer.
No, you actually got it. You're overthinking it. This is the right answer. Yeah. I don't want you to get confused now. You had it. So the real reason I took this one like this, holding it up to the ceiling, because we understand again, water can't stick to the top of the bottle. So logically, this is the one that I took upside down. You know? So you got it. Okay, so this last one's even easier. It's the easiest one. Have you guys ever heard of? No. You were just kind of overthinking about. Have you guys ever heard of water always finds its level? Right? So like when you have a pool, you know, once it's calm, you know, the water's level. What could be another word for level? If I had to use another word.
Balance.
I'm sorry?
Balance.
Balance is a good one? Yeah. It's actually, the proper definition is horizontal, because if we could have a straight line, but if it's at a slope, it's not level. It has to be a straight line horizontal. That's what level is, you know. So since we understand the fact about water, that it always finds its level, right? Which one of these two represents level as we know it when we're looking at the water, A or B?
A.
Yeah. Which one represents level? Yeah. I mean, right. Would you agree or disagree? When you're looking at both, right? Would you say this one represents level, right? Not this one? Right, so the real reason I do this is because over 95% of the population, including myself and maybe you guys, have been tricked to believing this is what level means, even though we know it's this one. That's what we know, because water shows us that. You want to know how we were tricked? Do you guys believe the Earth is a ball? Or a sphere, right? It's out in outer space. Yeah, right? So NASA in specific, or any space agency, they claim to have satellites orbiting the Earth, so they need to know the radius of orbit. So they need to know the radius of the Earth if they're supposedly going around it. So they do tell us the radius of the Earth is 3,959 miles, which gives us a circumference of 24,901, which means there has to be curvature every mile, and every mile it increases. So the first mile is an 8-inch drop, second mile 32 inches, by the third mile there should be 6 feet of curvature. So in 10 miles there should be 66 feet, which is like a 6-story building. So if we actually went out in nature like a giant lake that was miles across to physically measure for this curvature, the water's going to show us that it's going to be parallel to anything horizontal or level above it. But they're trying to tell us that that surface of water is bending, you know, every mile and increasing every mile. So this will be the #1 experiment to debunk the globe, in my opinion, a physical measurement of the Earth. So if I was to ask you guys, what's the #1 proof or reason that makes you believe that the Earth is a ball? Well, because you were told, because of the experts, right? What will be the #1 reason that makes you believe that the Earth is a ball?
Oh, no, the picture from outer space.
Okay, pictures from ours. I'm glad you brought up the pictures, because again, if a picture defies physics, we gotta throw that picture away. And they don't call them pictures, actually, they call them images. And the reason they call them images, again, because they're not photographs, they're Photoshop. They don't call them Photoshop, they actually say they're composites, so they stitch them together in the computer. So they're basically Photoshop, but without saying it. So a genuine photograph of the Earth from space doesn't exist. You know, everything that any space agency is showing us, from, you know, the European Space Agency, the Japanese space, doesn't matter, they're all CGI. You know, and they're all admitting that they are CGI because they have to, you know, because it doesn't exist. Have you guys ever heard of this topic before? People that don't believe that the Earth is a ball, right? You guys heard of flat Earth, right?
Yeah.
I try to stay away from that word because that's one of the ways they're censoring it, is by ridiculing people that are questioning it. So they're just kind of like grouping people as, or just calling them flat Earth. It's just name calling, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't label myself a flat earther, right? I'm just a human being like everybody else that came across this, 6 years ago. And part of the reason why I'm out here is because it's being censored online. And again, part of the censoring is ridiculing it. Experts are not taking it serious. And again, misrepresenting the facts. So they'll just talk about the sky and the stars and make up stories about the sky. Nobody knows what the sky is. It's the main reason. So that's how they're getting it, with stories, basically. Like the religion, I respect people's religions and faith, but to claim that the belief in the ball Earth and outer space science, it's not. It's basically a religion because it's based on faith. You know what I'm saying? Science is not faith. It's what it is. Like water finding its level, it's fact. That's why they use. Have you guys seen leveling tools when they're using construction to make sure the floor is flat? Right? Water is utilized in reality because it's the #1 tool for measuring horizontal. So the oceans are horizontal. They're trying to tell us that the oceans are bending around the ball, but all of that's just So do you guys want to take some information? I do have some. Again, it is being censored, so if you try to like search on Google like some genuine people like me talking about this, or, you're not gonna get anything genuine. So you could take this home and do some research for yourself. And here you go. You take that. And yeah. And you guys have any questions before you go? I mean,
What's your zodiac sign?
oh, Capricorn. I'm September 16th, so whatever that is.
Virgo.
Oh, Virgo. Yeah, my bad. Yeah. Virgo. Yeah, all right. No problem. Yeah, I'm not into the zodiac signs and stuff like that. Yeah, I forgot I'm a Virgo. I don't claim I'm a Virgo though, but I guess because I was born on that day, I'm labeled a Virgo now. Huh? But yeah, I don't take those serious for anybody that wonders that. All right, so I'm gonna put these away. I don't want to keep them too long. Shifty, yes, I mean, people have been close to the North Pole, I would say. I don't think a lot of people have been to the true North Pole. There is a lot of stories, I would say, that, yeah, people have been to the North Pole, but I think, like, all the countries that are surrounding the North Pole are farther from the North than we think. So, yeah, I don't think, anyone's actually been close to the North, at least that we know, right? In the community. It's just my opinion, I don't know. No, yeah, astrology, astronomy, anything to do with the stars is literally, I mean, if you're making up stories about what they are, which obviously the heliocentric model does, that's a religion. Now, if you're just observing the patterns, that the stars do, right, and you calculate, that's just part of arithmetic, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of utilizing math just to get a pattern of the sky, you know what I'm saying? So in a sense, if astrology just focused on that, on the pattern in the sky, then nothing wrong with that. It's when you start making up stories about what these things are, how far they are, the size of them, the environment they're within, all of that, it just becomes a religion, Here's another thing I've thought about the North. Like, is the North even a center point? Like, again, I don't have any bias towards anything. I literally don't care what the Earth is and what it's doing, to be honest. I care about the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna buy into anything that anyone is claiming, especially if I can verify it for myself or there's anything to reference it. So, the North, I don't know. I mean, obviously people circumnavigate, and stuff like that. I've never done it myself, so I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of evidence to show that, yeah, maybe, it is a center point, right? And everything got circles around it, and east and west are circles around it. And there is a lot of evidence to show that. I'm not denying it either, but I'm not gonna 100% accept it either, When you 100% accept something that you're not 100% sure of, that's pretty dumb. Literally. If you're not 100% sure about something, why would you 100% commit to it? Oh man, that's just fun. But people do, that's what believing is. Literally, the word belief is like an oxymoron. It's a contradiction of itself. It literally proves that it shouldn't even exist. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. That's true. Let it control. Hates being questioned. Yep. Yeah. A liar is just like, you know, obviously liars are controllers. They lie to try to control a situation, right? They hate being questioned, you know, because now they have to come up with more mental gymnastics and stuff. So it requires them to, you know, it requires effort, you know, to answer questions, you know, especially if you're trying to lie. So the more questions you have to answer, the more work, you know, it becomes. So yeah, a liar is always gonna try to avoid that because, you know, obviously he's lying. The more lies you make up, the more it's hard to keep up with those lies. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously the facts are facts, you know. Once you understand the facts, you know, you can always articulate the facts. You know? Maybe you could change the words up a little bit, but when you're making up lies, it's gonna be hard to keep track of that. So yeah, manipulators hate being questioned, you know. That's what I was thinking too, David Banner. They could just be magnetic points, you know, on a plane. So again, but then, you know, yeah. I mean, we don't know. You know, we don't know what this place actually is. You know, the dimensions of it. You know. The only thing I do know 100%. And I don't have to believe because I know 100% is that water always finds its level, you know, once contained, you know. So that's one fact I do know. So I don't have to believe it. That's interesting. 1 man is detective. No, yeah, the sun and the moon are obviously, you could say they're omnidirectional sources of light to white, so that we're able to see. You know, the sun to see during the day and the moon to see at night, right? I would assume, I can only assume that on like new moons, right? If you're comparing, you know, a new moon, you know, if you're in the forest, comparing it to like a full moon, I would assume during a full moon you're gonna be able to see better, you know, in the forest where it's pitch dark. You know, I would assume that during a full moon you have better visibility, and when it's a new moon, when, you know, it's completely not lit, I would assume that it's a little bit more darker. Obviously, there's still gonna be light. You're still gonna be able to see it. I would assume, you know, because the stars, you know, are still illuminating somewhat. So, but yeah, if it wasn't for the stars and the sun, think about it. In the night, it'll literally be pitch dark. It'll be like you're blind if there was no stars or moon. Like at night, you know, it would literally be like you're blind. You wouldn't be able to see shit. You know, but maybe we'll be using candles, you know, or like, you know, other ways. No, yeah, water is the key, even to life in general. You know, to sustain life, water is key. You know, so not is only key for like the biggest lie on earth. You know, it's also key to life and to sustain life. You know, but yeah, water is super important. Oh, yeah. Some guy playing a guitar live right here. It's cool. Better, for me, it's better than like the club music, you know, the techno and stuff like that. I used to listen to some techno before, but when I was a teenager, but yeah, I grew out of it. Kind of like, you know, maybe, you know, yeah, I'm not really into it as much. Yeah. Live show. You like the 90s Cali hip hop? Yeah, it's cool. Before it started selling out, huh? Completely.
Are you honest and open-minded? Are you open-minded?
I'm open-minded and I am.
Really?
Yeah.
What is your table about?
It's actually trying to see how honest and open-minded people are. Would you guys say you're honest and open-minded?
Yes.
Yeah. How open-minded from 1 to 10 would you say you are?
What's the 8?
8. Okay, that's pretty open-minded.
Yeah, I'd say 8.
8?
9. Yeah,
Okay,
9.
that's really good. Yeah, so I actually have 3 very easy questions, elementary level, just to see how honest and open-minded people actually are.
I hope it's not school questions because I don't like to go to school.
No, they're not. They're more like common
are you doing
sense.
some
Common
sort of-
sense questions.
Some
Common
sort of
sense.
study for yourself, or what is this?
Oh yeah, this is something I'm doing for myself. Yeah. So it's kind of like a social experiment kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? So I have 2 images here, and the reason I call them images is because one of them's a photograph and one of them's a painting. So I want to see
Painting.
a painting.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see if people can tell.
So which one is painting and which one is photograph?
Yeah, it's up to you guys to
Really?
figure out.
Oh my god, if it's painting, it's so real.
Yeah.
This is painting, this is photograph.
Okay.
Yeah, because the hair. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. There's actually a trick question. They're both paintings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've seen
so-
this face before.
Yeah.
I've seen
Morgan
this
Freeman.
Morgan Freeman's
Yeah, he's a
an
moving
actor.
actor. Yeah, he's an actor. So
Who painted this? Oh my god.
this is actually on the internet. You could put his name and put a painting time lapse, and you could. It's actually pretty famous. It actually took like 200 hours to make this one.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
look,
yeah.
it looks so real.
Yeah, it does. So I don't expect people to get this one, obviously, because it's impossible to tell,
Yeah,
right?
another one.
There is 2 reasons why I asked this question, though. It has to do with common sense. The first reason is just believing someone opens the door to being deceived, right? Because you guys believe me that one's a photograph that influenced your choice, right? So it's not good to just believe someone, right? So the second reason is if we want to determine something is real, an image is not good enough. Because if I show you an image of me flying or me carrying an
Yeah,
elephant,
that was what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm like, he can just tell me
Yeah,
that, oh, they are both
exactly.
painting. Yeah,
Exactly.
we just believe it like,
so
oh.
my point is that if a picture defies physics as well, we should throw that picture away. You know what I'm saying? Like, so these next 2 actually has to do with physics, elementary physics actually, very easy. Has to do with water. Could we agree? You know, water always needs to be contained, right? And once contained, it always seeks the lowest point. In other words, it always goes to the bottom. Because if I could turn the bottle upside down, water always goes down. You know, that's a fact. I can never make
Is
the
it
water.
gravity?
You could say that, right? You know, right? It always goes down. So since we understand that fact about water, it always seeks the bottom, right? I painted the water blue with food coloring just to make it easier to see. But since we understand water always goes down, how I'm showing you these, which one is upside down? One of these is actually upside down. And if you look,
This is upside down.
there you go. Do you agree with her? Yeah, right. This is the obvious one because the water can't stick to the top. I actually took it like that. So you guys got it. You see, you already got one. So this last one's
Like
even
elementary physics.
exactly elementary physics. So another thing about water, have you ever heard of water always finds its level? Not always. Not only does it seek the lowest point, but it always finds its level.
Finds its level,
Exactly.
yeah.
What would be another word for level? Gotta use a different word.
Even?
That's a good one. Horizontal is actually the proper definition because you could have a straight line, but if it's on a slope, it's not level. It has to be a horizontal straight line, and that's what level means. You know what I'm saying? So since we understand that fact about water as well, it always finds its level. Which one of these 2 represents level as we know it? A or B? When we're
Like
looking at
level.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's the obvious one, right? So the real reason I do this is because over 95% of the population, including myself and maybe you guys, have been tricked to believing this is what level means, even though we know it's this one. You guys want to know how we were tricked? Do you guys believe the Earth is a ball?
Yes.
Right? So NASA in specific, they claim to have satellites orbiting the Earth, so they need to know the radius of orbit, so they need to know the radius of the Earth if they're supposedly going around it. So they do tell us the radius of the Earth is 3,959 miles. So with that, we get the circumference of 24,901. So there should be curvature drop every mile. So first mile is an 8-inch drop, second mile 32 inches. By the third mile, there should be 6 feet of curvature. And in every mile, it increases because they're telling us it's a curve, not a slope. You know what I'm saying? So if we actually went out like a giant lake that was miles across to physically measure for this curvature, in my opinion, the water is going to show us that it's going to be level, parallel to any level structure above it. So there's not going to be any deviation in the distances. But they're trying to tell us that the water is bending, 8 inches per mile squared. But if you ask me, this will be the #1 experiment to debunk the globe, a physical measurement of the Earth. So if I was to ask you guys, what's the #1 proof that makes you believe that the Earth is a ball?
Because we see it from
From space?
Yeah,
The
the-
pictures?
yeah.
I'm glad you brought the pictures up. Is there anything else? I mean, before.
That's it.
Okay.
I wouldn't know.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought them up because they actually don't call them pictures. They actually call them.
With turds, the word is it's not spherical in shape.
Yeah, that's what they're telling us. Then they're showing us these pictures, but they actually don't call them pictures. They're actually images, and the reason they call them images is because they're Photoshop. So they're not photographs. They make them in a computer. They call them composites. So a genuine photograph of the Earth from space as a ball doesn't exist. And part of the reason, in my opinion, that doesn't exist is because the highest human beings, in my opinion, have ever gone is around 20 to 25 miles in the sky, and this is what the Earth looks like.
Are you trying to tell us Earth is flat?
I try to stay away from that word because I know there's a lot of propaganda going
I
on.
think I've heard that before, that the earth is flat.
Yeah. So flat Earth is part, kind of a way they're censoring
Is it
this.
important?
I'm sorry?
Is it important?
Oh yeah, it is important because, in my opinion, because if we're being lied to about our true existence and our purpose here and our and what the Earth actually is, then we're being lied to about who we truly are and our place within the Earth. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to tell us that we came from nothing, from a Big Bang explosion, and we evolved from monkeys.
Oh, I don't believe in that. I don't
Exactly.
believe in that.
So I used to be atheist, so I did believe that. But knowing that the Earth is a level plane and that we live in some kind of contained environment shows me that this place was intentionally designed. So whether it's for a good purpose or bad purpose, this was created.
Yes,
For
yes,
us
we
to be
believe
here.
that.
Whether
We
we're
believe
prisoners here or this is our heaven, I don't know. But this place was created, and what's outside of it, it's all made up. So the stars that we see in the sky is just like a map for us to use to navigate. So the sky is very close to the ground. It's not trillions and trillion light years away like they're telling us. So this whole idea of outer space existing is just an idea. It's just like a religion. So nobody knows if there's even an outside of the Earth to even think about. You know what I'm saying? Just the fact that we can see stars doesn't prove anything. You know, the fact is, we can actually zoom into the stars. I don't know if you've ever seen real photographs and videos of the stars. This is what they actually look like. They're just twinkling lights in the sky, and they all change different colors. And the planets are no different. You know, they used to be called wandering stars because the word planet comes from the word wandering. The only difference is that these are all fixed, again, like a map, like the constellations. That's why they're constant. These have their own unique paths. So these, have their own unique. So that's the only difference. But what they actually are, I don't know. Again, scientists will try to tell you what they are, but it's just like a priest trying to tell you what the Earth is from their point of view. It's just a belief.
Yeah.
Science is going to show you what it actually is, because physics is what it is. Water always finding its level, it's a fact. So you heard of the term sea level, right? The oceans. So level meaning flat, horizontal. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Do you have any questions before you guys?
Yeah,
go?
I wanted to ask you. You brought
Yes.
up how Earth is created.
Yeah.
It's not come from the Big Bang Theory. So can I ask you, who created Earth?
Oh, so here's the thing. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. That's the first law of thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only transform from one form to another. So that alone debunks the Big Bang, because the Big Bang says it came from nothing. So what created the Earth? I don't know. I would say every religion has it wrong, and the fact is nobody knows. So that's why I'm out here sharing that fact. That resonates.
So you don't believe
I don't
God?
believe in
You don't believe in God?
any particular
But
God.
you said you used to be atheist. You know
No,
why?
I know. I acknowledge that there is a creator, so I believe in a God, like whatever created this. I don't pick a certain one. I don't pick Jesus. I don't pick Buddha. I don't pick Muhammad. I don't think he has a.
You pick science.
I pick physics. Shows me that this place was created. Exactly. What that is, what created it, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think this place. Have you guys seen the movie Avatar? Right, with the blue creatures. I think this place is kind of like that. Like this is our
It was
vehicle.
made up.
Huh?
It's all made up.
No, that's obviously a story made up, but it makes sense to me that we're occupying our body like a vehicle. We control it, we have a mind to use it. And again, it was all intelligently designed, because you just look at the eyeball, how it works.
Yeah.
There's no way it came by accident.
Exactly. Like you said, intelligent being, there's got to be someone who did it.
Exactly.
So I believe in God. God, He is the one who created us.
So the ball earth belief, in my opinion, is one of the main reasons why people nowadays, especially millennials, are atheists and just don't care about life, because they think it's just YOLO, But the fact is, we have a purpose here. What that purpose is, again, I don't know. But
So can I ask you why?
Yes.
Why don't you believe in God?
I do believe in God. I
Okay.
just don't believe in a specific God that people are telling me.
But there's only one God. There's no
Exactly. I
specific
acknowledge.
God created heaven and earth.
Exactly. But if you're trying to tell me that God is the father of Jesus, that's where it becomes abstract. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
'Cause
of course it is abstract.
Yeah, and that-
you have to be like
it's just a story, in my opinion.
a setting, I say like scripture that you have to, that will guide you
Sure.
to truly know what it is.
I think.
Because every
yeah.
religion has scripture. Every religion has the Buddhists have the
And they all
Muslims
point to the
have.
same. you know, they all point to the same destination, kind of, that everything was created, right?
Yeah, they all do, but different a little bit.
Yeah.
Because if you study different religions, you get to see that Christianity, there is history, there is
Okay.
prophet, there is moral teaching,
Okay.
there is prophecy, and there is fulfillment.
Right.
And out of these four, it's only Christian that have fulfillment. Till
Okay.
now, as I speak to you right now, there is
Okay.
fulfillment. And fulfillment is taking place.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen Muslims. Muslims, they don't have fulfillment, but
Okay.
they have prophecy.
Right.
You know, when they prophesy, it never happened.
Right.
Same as Buddhism, same
Right.
as other religions. But
Right.
Christianity have fulfillment. How? It's through the Bible.
Right.
When in the Old Testament, they prophesied that Jesus is going to come,
Right.
and he came. It happened.
I would say you would have to just believe that he actually did come. That's where I say, like, because physics I don't have to believe. Like I said, you know, like, physics is what it is. So stories about people that used to exist and did magical things back in the day, I would just have to place faith and ignore my common sense that human beings can do magical things.
The Big
You know what I'm
Bang
saying?
theory, like you mentioned, is like the earth is spherical, is like a ball of fire and all that.
Right.
We didn't just automatically fall. We're being created by a being.
Right.
We have a creator,
Right.
and we are his creation. You remember, if you read the Bible, have you read the Bible?
I have not read the Bible, but I do
Exactly.
know some verses.
So if
you know.
you read the Bible, you
Right.
get to see that Jesus, you get to see that God, He created the heavens and the earth. He said, "Let there be light, let there be water." And when you make mention of water, you just took me back to the Bible, remembering what the actual meaning of water is.
Right.
Water means the Word.
It's the key to life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the Word as well is the Bible. Without the Word, we wouldn't have life.
But that's the thing, though. If you ask me, whoever wrote the Bible, whoever wrote it, they didn't have nothing else to reference. What did they reference? Reality, right? So even if the Bible was true in the sense where this is how we should be, right? This is the path we should follow, right? Just like that person came to that conclusion that wrote that Bible, we should all have the ability to come to that conclusion as well.
actually,
We
there-
shouldn't just blindly follow a
Yeah,
book,
Of course,
but
you're
but
right.
come to those conclusions the same way that person did.
Yeah.
I think that's more logical.
Well,
in my opinion.
that's what my friend was mentioning.
Yeah.
That, you know, in the Bible, there's fulfillment.
Yeah.
It was prophesied, God
Yeah.
prophesied, and it happened.
Right.
That's why we believe in the Bible.
I see.
Because it happened.
So you're
Yeah.
placing faith on something that you have to have faith in. That's the difference with me. I don't.
Hebrews.
Either I know something or I don't. I'm okay with not knowing. You know, I'm okay. I think faith to me opens the door to being deceived. That's why I stay away from belief or faith and stuff like that. You know
Well,
what I'm
but
saying?
And you expect us to believe you?
You don't have to believe me. This is physics. This is what reality shows us.
And you
know, it could be
expect us to
tested,
believe
repeated,
physics?
measured, and you know that's what science is: measurable, testable, and repeatable. That's the scientific method. you know?
Yeah.
So if you were to pass away tomorrow, where would your spirit go?
I don't have, again, I have ideas. I think reincarnation could be more a possibility. So again, I'm not set on that because I don't know ultimately. I also think that there could be other realities, like dimensions you would call them, that are outside of, it's another basic, not outside like another planet, but just another dimension that it's not within this. Because in my opinion, the Earth is all that exists. This is the universe, that's it. It's how far the Earth extends is unknown. So the Earth, some people think the Earth is infinite. You know, just like they claim outer space is infinite. Some people think the Earth is infinite. We don't know. They actually have an Antarctic treaty that prevents anyone like me or you exploring the Earth. It's actually illegal. And over 50, the UN, over 52 countries have signed it. So it prevents, again, any independent exploration of the Earth.
Yeah.
If you ask
But
me, they're keeping us like animals in a pen. You know?
Yeah.
So I mean, you guys are. I'm assuming you guys are kind of religious, right? Or
Yeah, we're
Not
Christian.
religious per se, because yeah, there
You
are
guys-
different religions, but we are believers.
Yeah, I actually
we
don't have
believe
anything
in
against
God.
People's personal
Yeah.
beliefs. I just like to share my own thoughts. The way I see things.
Yeah.
But again, I respect people's beliefs. And
Same as we do.
Yeah. No, yeah,
we
it's good.
respect people's belief
Oh,
like
yeah.
very, very well.
exactly,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, but I'm glad you're open-minded to listen to us.
No, yeah, definitely. No,
Your parents, where are they from?
I'm sorry.
Your parents.
My parents are from Mexico.
You're from Mexico.
Mexico, yeah. I'm born here, but first generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mexican.
Alright. Are they Christians or Catholic?
Catholic, yeah. So I grew up Catholic. I didn't follow that tradition.
Yeah.
I got baptized and everything. And I remember being scared as a little kid, not being baptized, because I thought that demon wasn't gonna go inside me. Because that's how they scare you.
Exactly.
They scare you that a demon's gonna go in your body if you're not baptized. So I was scared as a little kid. So I don't know if that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? It could mess with you psychologically.
Exactly,
You know.
I believe,
So
yeah.
I believed that. So I was just worried, like, oh my God, like I need to get baptized. I need to get baptized.
Even the
It's kind of
communion
funny.
that they need to
I
use
did.
is communion.
Yeah, I did the communion too, and all
Yeah.
that. I think it's kind of funny, you know. But again, nothing personal, right? It's just I'm just sharing my experience
Yeah.
and how it made me feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But yeah, I don't follow it anymore.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to
No,
share
it's
my
okay.
story.
Yeah.
I used to be Catholic.
Okay.
Oh, I would say I used to be Muslim.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
from
Okay.
Muslim.
Oh, wow.
I kind of when I met Christian friends, so
Okay.
they started talking to me about the Catholic, actually Catholic, not Christian.
Yeah,
So
Catholic,
from
okay.
there, I became a Catholic. I attended Catholic University,
Okay, I
so
see.
I converted from Muslim to Catholic.
Ah.
Then over time, I started seeing what they were doing and reading my Bible. I'm like, this doesn't tally with what they are doing. It's different. How can
Right.
you say something different, but you're doing something different?
Yeah.
So it has to match.
Yeah.
The life that you're living has to match with the scripture.
Sure.
So I'm like, this is not really, because I was seeing a lot of different things. So not until I met another friend who's Christian, so we started studying the Bible more.
Oh, okay.
So over time, as I was studying the Bible, getting through to understand truly what God's desire,
Right.
His purpose for His creation, just like I mentioned before, the Genesis
Right.
has to do with the Old Testament, has to do with history.
Right.
So history now, so that we do not repeat the same mistake
Right.
as the old people do. So there's history, there's moral teachings, there's prophecy, and there's
Yeah.
fulfillment.
Right.
So when I started studying with my friend and I started saying, oh yeah, this is true, this is how it came to be, because Catholic, they do not believe like Jesus came, only the
Right.
statue of Mary and all that.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So it wasn't tallying with the scripture, so that was how I had to move to Christianity.
Mm.
So right now, I'm truly grateful and I believe I'm blessed
Yeah.
trying to understand the scripture
Right.
more,
Okay.
what is in there and what God's purpose for us, for
Right.
all of us. Yeah.
Right.
Because the Bible, God is invisible. We cannot see God.
Yeah.
We can only see Him through the Bible. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like you mentioned, we don't know how many people who wrote the Bible, but roughly 35 to 40 people wrote the
Okay.
scripture. And God, the Bible says that God inspired the people to
Okay.
write.
Okay,
like,
sure, yeah.
Like Matthew, Paul, John. God inspired
It's funny
them.
because I can actually relate to
Even
all of that.
Moses, have you
Yeah.
Moses wrote Exodus. He wasn't there when the
Right.
things happened.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right, right.
God gave him the vision
Right.
and he wrote the things that happened. He wasn't there.
Yeah.
So right there, yeah, like you said, you have your own belief and we have our own belief. There's a reason why we're here. So
No, yeah.
we would like you, because you're very knowledgeable in what
Yeah.
you're doing right now, like absolutely knowledgeable, and
Sure,
we
thanks, I
like
appreciate
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. A lot of things must have happened in the past.
Right.
Like me, my heart was broken because I didn't believe the Catholic
Right.
faith and all that
Right,
until
right.
I got Christian. Yeah, there's always a second chance
Right.
to make it better.
Yeah, it's
So
always.
that's why
It's never
we're
too
here.
late.
We want to be your friend.
Oh, yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
we can have your phone number so we get talking and see if you can join our online Bible study.
Right.
You don't have to drive.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Actually, here.
We can have your phone number, or if you have a card.
I have a card here.
Oh, great.
So
Is it business
my YouTube
card?
channel is the first one there. You know, you guys probably check it out. Probably see yourselves on there in a few days.
Are you serious?
Oh, you're recording it?
Yeah.
Hey, did you ask our permission? Don't
Well,
you get permission?
it's public. It's open to it's the First Amendment protected activity to record it public.
It's okay. You
Yeah.
can put your phone number.
Oh, actually, I have my email on the description, so you can reach me by email. I don't share my personal number
Oh, okay.
personally, especially if
So you don't share your personal number. You want to share your personal.
No, it's just because this is a public or open public conversation. You know, the Earth and the dimensions. It's not a private. That's why I'm out here in the public to have open public
So your
conversation.
name's Eric?
My name is William, the first one from the top. William and Natalie. That's my wife.
Oh, okay.
That's my channel. But those are other channels that you should check out. Again, if this subject does interest you, because it is being censored. I only share these links with people just so that you can cross-reference. You know, you don't believe me, don't believe anybody, that they're saying. I would say use your own intuition, use your own common sense, and come up with your own conclusions based on what you understand. You know what I'm saying? Don't, that's just my opinion.
We've already concluded that we believe God. He created
Oh,
the
yeah.
earth
I don't have to believe in God. I know there's a God because the physics shows me that. But again, what that God is, I will have to place faith, and I'm not gonna do that. You know? But yeah, I do not know there is a creator.
Since you know there's a creator, you can try it out.
Sure, definitely. Do you guys have a card or something?
Oh no, we don't. We're just part of the Bible college.
Okay, you guys just freestyle if you guys speak to people, right?
That's what the Bible says, to go out and share.
That's literally what I'm doing. That's what I'm saying when you were bringing up these like guys that God was speaking to them and speaking through them, right?
Yeah.
In a sense, I kind of feel that coming out and doing this. But in my opinion, God is my common sense. So God is what gives me the ability to think for myself. And I think He wants me to make decisions that make sense to me and not just believe something.
And that is why He also brought us to you.
Exactly.
So give us your phone number.
Oh no! I mean, again, you could get in contact with me through email, but
But I see Eric. Is that your email, Eric?
No. These are websites. If you go to this YouTube channel, you know you've used YouTube before, right?
yes.
That's my channel. If you go to the
It'll see
description
your
of the
email?
videos, my email is like right there in the description.
Well,
Yeah.
William, we hope that you'll give the Bible a chance.
Yeah.
You're a very knowledgeable person. You believe in God.
Yeah.
And the Bible's the only book that has prophecy and it's fulfilled. God fulfills it. They're just prophesying. So, other religions,
No, yeah.
they don't fulfill it.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys talking to me.
Thank you so much, William, for your
You guys
time.
take care.
Your name, Eric?
My name is
William.
William. It's the first one from the top.
All right.
But I recommend all the other channels as well. Again.
So why do you answer Eric?
Eric Dubé is actually one of the first guys that started putting all this information on the internet in 2016, and his YouTube channel has been removed a couple times already. So I just share his information because it kind of helped me, to get to where I'm at now, understanding physics and basic facts about reality that debunk the globe, especially. And again, he has a pretty good channel with short videos.
Because we have facts. Yeah, we have facts.
Well, I would say they're not facts because they're stories that you have to believe that happen.
We have truth. It's truth that we have.
I would say truth again has to be aligned with something that a fact or truth to me cannot be denied. Basically, is my point. If you like, for example, there's 3 people speaking right here, right now. If somebody was to deny that there's only 2 people here speaking, I would say they're crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that's not a truth to say that there's 2 people speaking. I would say 3 people here are speaking right now, and that's a fact. That's truth. It cannot be denied. So stories from the past, they could be denied because they can't be confirmed. You know what I'm saying?
So that means history could be denied.
No. He talks about physics. Most he does.
It's still the same. It's a story.
No. Physics is what it is. We can repeat experiments, and we could do that 100 years from now. You know what I'm saying?
2016,
So that's the difference between physics and history. History is just his story. You know what I'm saying? But no, I appreciate you guys stopping. You guys have anything
Thanks,
else?
William.
Yeah, no problem.
Hopefully you have an open heart.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm vegan actually, so I'm compassionate about others, especially animals. So yeah, I do it for moral reasons. So yeah.
Well, you need to move in the shade.
Oh, I love the sun. I love the
Really?
sun. Yeah, Unless it's like burning hot, but it's just cool right now.
So we email you. We can share stuff.
Yeah,
with
we
you.
email
Definitely. Yeah.
Appreciate
Definitely
it.
appreciate it. Right?
You enjoy.
Yeah. Thank
Well,
you.
know that God created you and God loves you and God wants you to know Him.
Yeah. Wanted us to have this conversation too.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. It's meant to be, right? Anything's meant to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like me,
All right.
are you honest and open-minded?
You guys are open-minded.
Yeah, we're open
Trust me.
minded to listen, and you're open minded to listen to us.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man. All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice day.
You too. Very cool. Oh my god. Yeah, my phone's overheating. Hopefully it doesn't turn off. I might have to move to the shade after all. No, yeah. But at least they were not, listening does not necessarily mean open-minded. That's true, but at least they were not like completely like closed, right? Or ran away, like it's not like a lot of people do, I guess more open-minded than the average person. It would be a better way to say. yeah, those girls were doing the same thing William was doing. They were just trying to open his eyes to the truth. No, yeah, except in my opinion, people that are out here like preaching the Bible, you know, and talking about God's word, right, and truth and stuff like that through the Bible, their heart's in the right place, you know, their heart's in the right place, but their mind is not. Like, if you ask me, like, they're still ignorant to what truth actually means, and you know what facts actually are. You know, like they think just believing is truth. You know what I'm saying? So that's where, you know, it's a kind of an oxymoron again. You know, so religions are a form of control, mainly through fear and confusion. God is neither fear, control, or confusion. If I'm confused, I know it's not coming from the. No, that's true. That's true. Let it. I completely agree. That's why he gave us these 5 senses, you know, that we use to navigate this place, to be able to build, you know, a shelter. Even animals have them, you know what I'm saying? God didn't want us to be depending on others. So why would he want us to depend on others for information? You know, like, think about that. Like, why would God, you know, give us all the tools necessary to survive, to be independent, to think for ourselves, you know, but then at the same time want us to just believe other people? You know, it doesn't make any sense, you know, but again, people have to believe whatever they want. Thanks, Reeds. Elon Musk, lone scum. That's a good one. Oh, it was buffering? Yeah, my phone overheated. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for shade literally next time just for the phone. I had a feeling that was gonna happen. Yeah, the GoPro should be fine, so that one for sure. Even if the live stream goes off, it's cool, you know, I'll still have the GoPro running, but next time for sure I'm gonna look for some shade. Yeah. Thanks, Circadian Haze. Yeah, I appreciate that. Circadian Haze. You have a good day and weekend as well. Oh, nice. We need more vegans out there, huh? Alright, take care, man. Have a good one. Like, when you come up to the table and you see 2 cameras, like, you know, and I'm talking to one, like, I mean, I would assume you're recording, you know. I mean, like, I guess they might think, like, oh, he forgot to record, right? Maybe they think I need to press record, you know, before the conversation starts. But little do they know it's recording the whole time, you know, but, it was a little awkward when they got a little weird about me recording. But it's cool. No, yeah, you could say that we're a reflection of what we want to be. I mean, think about it. That's why the majority, it's about group thinking, you know, controlling, you know, through group thinking, you know, because that's how you shape reality, you know, through how people think. If you could get people thinking a certain way, because remember, an action requires a thought in a way, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't just, I mean, yeah, and I mean, you can't move or anything without like intent being behind it, is my point. So, you know, an action requires some form of thought. So if they can control your thoughts, guess what? They can control your actions, you know. So it's pretty self-evident. That's true, Mr. Jones. The Bible does warn of false prophets, you know, and the irony with most people that are following false prophets. That's true. They don't see their own flaws in their logic, and they don't even see the flaws in their own scripture. You know, you could say that too. You know. I know everybody's recording here, literally. So far today, women have been more open-minded than men. The first two that stopped were women, and then the last two that stopped were women. So no men so far. We're the men, right? How long's it been? An hour and 13? See if I could get one more conversation at least. That one was good though, the last one. Even though they were like religious or Christian, whatever label they use, they were, you know, you could see it in their face that, I mean, they wanted to get my number so bad. I'm assuming to try to, again, nothing personal, but to try to brainwash me, right? Nah, but it's cool with my email. Yeah. I didn't even give him a flyer. I gave him the card, though, it's the same thing. It's fine. The globe is Satan's biggest deception. NASA is Satan without a T. True? I mean, another thing about the Bible, it says to not worship anyone. Don't worship anyone. And it's like, people literally worship God. Like, and not only that, you know, people that are not religious, you know, for the, you know, people that are atheists, for example, you know, that believe in the Big Bang and are all about government, they have a God too, you know, it's called money. You know, why? Because people literally have faith in money. It's the only way it has value. You need to have faith in it. And people literally think it's a solution to everything. Just like people think just believing in God is the solution to everything. So most people think that obviously, you know, the monetary value money has is faith-based. People literally think that money is the solution to everything. In other words, believing in money is the solution to everything. That's literally what people think. You know, faith is the solution to everything. You know, it's no different than believing in a God. If your whole life is about money, you know, think about it. It only has value because you have faith in it. You know, so to think that that's the solution to everything, yeah, faith is action. Action is the solution to problems, you know, taking the correct action, you know. And it comes through independent thinking, you know. You cannot expect other people to be kind, to be reasonable, to be open-minded, you can't expect anything from anyone. All you can do is do you. Walk your own path how you think you should walk it, you know, and hopefully that resonates with others and people could drop the act, you know what I'm saying? Because it's all that I witness nowadays is people literally just acting, you know what I'm saying? They're not even acting or being themselves, they're just literally trying to be someone else, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, you know, gangsters, you know, cholos, right? It's literally the same persona. You know, every cholo you meet, like 90% of the time, you know, it's the same, it's like a clone, you just clone them. And they're the same personality, the same, you know, things they do, the same habits, right? They fucking drug users, you know. And it's funny because gangsters, it's ironic, they're literally one of the, in my opinion nowadays especially, some of the most disrespectful people out there, but yet they're the ones that demand respect the most, you know, so fucking retarded, you know. But yeah, from my experience, gangsters are some of the most disrespectful. They don't give a fuck about, you know, about anyone. You know, they all care about themselves, you know, and obviously it has a lot to do with the drug use. But the irony, they demand respect. You know what I'm saying? Respect, you know, respect is earned. You know, you can't just force it. You know, like you can't force anything in life. So if Jesus is a part of God and it's okay to worship Jesus because he's a part of God, aren't we all a part of God in a way? Didn't we all come from God? So worshiping me, for example, I'm not going to say to worship, but worshiping anybody else like Jesus is okay then. Because, you know, if it's okay to worship Jesus, then it's okay to worship anyone. I'm not saying we're equal to him. Apparently it's wrong to say that we're like Jesus, right? Like, even though he was a human being, allegedly, right? But, well, you could worship him, even though he was just a, you know, human, but apparently he was like a superhuman, right? He was special, you know, right? And I just have to believe that, right? You know, but, oh man. Again, nothing personal. I don't have any hate towards Christianity or any of these religions. You have a right to preach this, you know. That's part of free speech, you know what I'm saying? So I can only speak my mind. Truth will always come to the light. Yeah, that is true. Now the part where Jesus is the way to the truth, if you're talking about metaphorically, Jesus being within, being your common sense, being a state of mind, if Jesus was kind of like a state of mind, then yeah, Jesus is the way. I agree. Jesus is the way to truth. Because in my opinion, Jesus is just a state of mind. You know, he's not a literal person. Like, you have to follow. Like what do you mean? Like follow him? Like, what do people mean? Like, you literally follow him? Like, you go to sleep? Like, what do you mean to follow him? Like, I guess follow his word, right? I'm assuming that's what they mean. Like. I stepped out of a jail and realized I had not stepped out of the jail. Yep, Christ consciousness. Yep. I mean, there's books that explain that too. You know, I don't know why people don't listen to those books. They only listen to the Bible, right? And those other books that talk about Christ consciousness and all that, it's metaphoric. You know, you don't have to take it literal either. You know, all these stories, you don't have to take them literal. It's the meaning behind the story. You know, that's what people need to focus on. Just getting ready for the day, so back while I'm doing, so to stay away from all the lovely energy here. Nice one. Christ consciousness is not true. Again, it's a metaphor. It's a state of mind. Of like, what do you mean when you say Christ consciousness? Like, what do you say? Like, what do you mean when you say it's not true? What do you think Christ consciousness is? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you mean when you say, because to me, Christ consciousness, again, it's just a state of mind. It's a state of being, you know. And in my head, it's literally being in the moment. That's what Christ consciousness is. You know, acknowledging the facts, acknowledging yourself, you know, how your mind works, you know, all of that. I think that's Christ consciousness, which is true. We should all have that. You could call it something else if that triggers you, Christ consciousness. We could call it awareness, you know. I mean, it already exists, but we could make up another word if you don't like Christ consciousness. It's just, you know, maybe that book was written before, and then these names, Jesus Christ and Christ, or Christ consciousness, were hijacked, you know, and then transformed into the Bible, and now it's Jesus Christ, you know. They hijacked it, you know. We don't know. That's at the end of the day, we don't know. So to claim something for certain, it's stupid, you know. Nothing personal, again. It's just the way it is, you know? That's why at the end of the day, I don't know. It's okay to not know, you know. Nothing wrong with that. That tells me that, okay, you don't know. That means, okay, you're open to why, or that tells me that you're open because you haven't bought into anything else. So by default, you could say you're a little bit more open than someone that already believed, you know. So it's good to say you don't know. All of everything, Jesus is the Bible, it's just apparent. We have to always remember that. Yeah, there is a live version. I A lot of things the Bible predicted look like they're about to come true. I would say these predictions that even the mainstream has predictions, or they predict this stuff through like The Simpsons, for example, right? Like cartoons and TV shows. There's a lot of predictions that they did, right? In my opinion, those were not so much predictions. They were more of conditioning for something that's going to happen. So in other words, they're putting it out before it happens because they already have it planned that they're going to do it. So when it does happen, people could say like, oh, they predicted it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not because they just randomly predicted it. It's because they pushed it. So they put it out there like a sneak peek, you could say, right? Like little Easter eggs, right? Like little, but then they actually go through with it. And again, it was just to subliminally, in my opinion, paint the picture that they have some super ability to tell the future, right? And then they can perceive, you know, what's gonna happen, and you know, and predict, right? So that's what I think happened. So when it comes to the Bible, again, the things that happen in the Bible, it's just things that just happen in life too. A lot of things that the Bible claims about deceiving and all this stuff, it's just things that happen in life. So yeah, they're gonna happen, you know, but it doesn't mean everything the Bible says is true. You know what I'm saying? So again, that doesn't prove anything. That the fact that they predicted certain things, and that doesn't prove anything, in my opinion. That's true. Some of the ugliest arguments have come from religion. The Big Bang Theory came from a Catholic priest. You know, that's another thing I should have brought up to the last people that were here. The last should have told them that the Big Bang Theory came from a Catholic priest. That's true. Thousands of years. They were probably written like a couple hundred years ago, huh? For all we know, the Bible was probably written like a couple hundred years ago. There was no internet back then, or pictures that, you know, even if they were, they could have been fake. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh man, we don't know when the Bible was written. We don't even know if it was genuine, when it was written, like nothing. But we're supposed to believe everything that's in it. Like, oh man. Again, a lot of the stuff that's in there, I relate to. A lot of the stuff that people tell me about the Bible, I relate to, and I didn't even have to read it, just by being in tune with my own self, literally. Understanding how my mind works, understanding human psychology, you know, like emotions, you know, all this. I can relate to a lot of it without having to read it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. That's true, Shifty. Yes, they do always tell you what they're gonna do before they do it, you know, literally. That kind of tells you that they're controlling it in a way. But again, people flip it and just say, oh, they predicted it. And they're like, no, they're just showing you that they have control of society right now. Yeah, that's a possibility, the holographic space invasion. Especially if people are gonna see it, right? You know, seeing is believing, right? That's another bad saying. You know, seeing is believing. Like, no, seeing is not believing. It's seeing, touching, smelling, and feeling. You know, touching. Man, that's, you don't even have to believe anymore. You know whatever you're seeing is real because you're touching it. You're you know, you're smelling it. You could even, if it's, you know, you could even taste it. You know, you know. So seeing is not. I mean, seeing is believing, but believing is not a good thing. So that's a bad saying right there. Because they are going to use, they could use holographic projections, and then the seeing is believing, you know, right? It's going to get everybody. That's true. Base truth are Catholicism, Judaism, and NASA are the biggest religions. Your lying eyes, yeah. Especially since how we see, you know, it's a separate geometry than what the world actually is. You know, so like seeing is believing just shows that it's been pushed on us. No, yeah, that's right. Circadian haze. Realize. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that the Bible was planted per se. I was just saying that it could have been hijacked from other books that were more about the self, like Christ consciousness, for example. Like there's a lot of books that people wrote, for example, that share their experiences through psychedelics, for example, right? And I would say the Bible kind of hijacked those books and ideas from these people that were actually being honest, you know, and writing these books, again, from what they've learned, I guess, while being in these psychedelic states. And I think the Bible just hijacked that, so, and then they twisted it. And now, instead of it being metaphoric stories about learning about the self and about lessons, they switched it and they got people focused now on the literal, you know, opposed to the meaning. So that's what I think the Bible did. You know, not everything in the Bible is wrong. I agree with a lot of stuff in the Bible. Again, metaphorically, you know, the lessons behind the stories, not the literal stories themselves. So that's the only difference. Again, we don't know if those scriptures were written thousands of years. You just have to believe that. And even if they weren't written thousands of years, who's to say they were true? You know, like, like literally. I mean, again, the lessons behind stories, the moral of the stories, like that can't be denied, you know. But the literal story that actually happened, that could be denied because it can't be confirmed. That's why. So. Hopefully we get one more, but we'll see. That's true, one man and his detector, UFOs and aliens. It's just to reinforce the belief of space. Right? Yeah. No, that's true. They choose which books. Right? Yeah, that's true. The aliens, they must be coming from outer space. Again, it's just because the belief in aliens just proves how much people believe in outer space, how deep, you know, and wholeheartedly they believe in outer space. The fact that most people think aliens exist, they already got you basically 100% believing in outer space. Because if you can't even question the validity or existence of aliens, you know, then what makes you think that they're gonna be able to question the validity of the existence of outer space? You know what I'm saying? They're going a step further, you know, talking about aliens from outer space when space hasn't even been verified. But again, that's another way they brainwash, you know. They get you talking about the details of the lie so that you don't focus on the lie. You know, if they could get you to focus on the details of the lie and just have debates about the details of the lie, you're not gonna get nowhere, you know, because you're arguing a lie. You know what I'm saying? You gotta call out the lie from the start, and that's where it falls apart. You know? pretty obvious, pretty easy. Even if the devil we recognize the Bible is true, even when we mock it, truth always comes to light. Yeah. But we know they're from across space. US flight planes on the plane. NASA manufactured space in their minds. Yep. Yeah. The only thing they've ever sent to space was people's imaginations, basically. That's the only thing that they ever sent to space. Yep, that's true, Mr. Jones. People that are aware know that. Today we call them demons. Tomorrow they will call them something else. Aleister Crowley. NASA Nautical Aquatic Scuba Academy. Just like the globe remains the best-selling theory year after year, we can agree that we in this place is created based on the physics of reality, but anything else is a belief. Yeah, we can acknowledge, we don't even have to believe, we can acknowledge the fact that this place was created somehow. Again, somehow, because we don't know what it is, whether this is a mechanical place, whether this is a spiritual place, we don't know, but it was created somehow. That's a fact. So the fact that, you know, so this word God, you know, it's like it's kind of an abstract word, you know, that triggers people, but yeah. How's it going?
I read that. I had to come up here.
Okay, are you honest and open-minded? First question.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, how open-minded would you say from 1 to 10?
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm 10.
Oh, a 10 open. Oh, wow. Okay, that's good. So I have 3 very easy questions. See if you can get 2 of 3. So the first one's the hardest, but then they get easier. So I have 2 images here, and the reason I call them images is because one of them is a photograph and one of them is a painting. So
One of them is a photograph, one of them is a painting.
Yes.
I think that's a painting.
All right. So it's actually a trick question. They're both paintings. Yeah.
That
so,
one I knew. I should have been there. Okay.
Yeah. I don't expect people to get this one, obviously, because it's impossible, right? But there is 2 reasons why I asked this question. The first reason is just believing someone opens the door to being deceived, right? Because you're believing they want a photograph that influenced your choice.
So they're both photographs.
No, they're both paintings, actually.
So that would be like change your mind.
Yeah.
No, okay, fine.
So my second reason for asking this question is, if you want to determine something is real, an image is not good enough. Because if I showed you an image of me flying or me walking on water, would you believe I could do those things? Would you believe
I believe it's true.
Exactly.
But I have a lot of images, though.
So if
I
I
do.
but if I show
I
you,
have more images and like that than images.
okay,
But
but
it's not usually me, it's somebody else.
I see. But if I showed you like an image of me flying, for example, you
Well,
know,
my kid just went out, got to keep him war.
you.
He's still here. He'll be back. He's that one.
Okay, sir. Okay, so
Not
here.
because the other one anyway.
Yeah, let me-
Please helicopter flight, because I'm alright.
Okay,
don't
so
know why that-
the second question
Yeah.
has to do with water. You know, water, could we agree, once contained, it always seeks the lowest point. It always goes to the bottom. Water, always. It's a fact about water, right? It always goes to the bottom, no matter the orientation of the bottle,
Okay.
right? Since we understand that fact about water, I painted the water blue with food coloring just to make it easier. Since we understand that water always goes to the bottom, how I'm showing you these 2, which one is upside down?
That one.
There you go. You got it. Perfect. Yeah, so this one is the correct one. I took it like that. So you got it. Perfect. Okay, how's it going?
I'm first time here.
I gotta go. I gotta try to catch a
All
doctor.
right, no problem, man.
Do you have the
Take care.
time?
It is 12:38.
Yeah, I can stick
All right, no problem, man. Take care.
Oh, I took the money.
I'm sorry?
You gotta go get some of this too,
What
yeah?
restaurant?
Oh, you went to a restaurant?
There. Oh, there.
I think it's over there.
Okay, I will try.
We don't have to take our time. Yeah.
First time here. Oh, wow.
You got time to see if I can put on that little bit of something on the honey.
But I like
It broke, right?
Oh, that's fine.
I like
No problem, take
this
it.
town very much.
Sorry?
I like this town very much.
Oh,
very,
right.
very much.
Oh, wow, really?
But
Okay.
I want to try good food.
Right. Yeah, I think there's some restaurants over there. Yeah. All right, you take care.
Thank you.
All right, you take care. And the Dunning-Kruger effect, everybody thinks they're 8 or 10, but they're actually like a 2. That's true when being open-minded. a lot of people think that just being open-minded is just like just listening to someone, you know, but it's more than that. It's actually understanding where they're coming from, right? And having the ability to rebuttal if you don't agree with it or not, you know. I think challenging people's beliefs, right, or claims as well. It's one of the healthiest things we could do as human beings, you know. It's part of growing, it's part of learning, it's part of being better, you know. We have to challenge ourselves, we have to challenge each other, you know. Otherwise, things are just gonna get worse, you know. Thanks, one man, head detective. What's up, talking tennis? Base truther, what just happened? I don't know. What just happened? Some lady came and was gonna do the questions, but then cut it short. Kind of had to go, but should have just gave her a flyer, low-key. It didn't look like she had the attention span to sit through this anyway. Deny the real idea of the Bible is used in of Christ. I think atheists acknowledge that this place could be created. I don't think they acknowledge Christ per se or Jesus, in my opinion. But the atheists that do acknowledge that this place could be created, it's kind of an oxymoron though. Again, if you're an atheist, then you don't really believe in a creator. Like, you know, you believe that everything came by chance, right? From nothing. It's all an accident. From what I understand, because I kind of used to be in that mentality, you know, you don't buy into any religion, especially, you know. So to say that they acknowledge that could be a possibility, it doesn't make sense for an atheist to think that, in my opinion, you know. I'm not really paying attention to the music. It's kind of in the background in my head. Physics prove this is a creation of some sort. History, well, the winner's right here. No, that's true. I forgot actually, because the last conversation they kept talking about history and history. I wanted to bring that up, but I kind of didn't want to interrupt. And I forgot too. But I did wanted to tell them about winners write the history books. You know, if they've ever heard of that, because you know, it can't be denied. Winners write the history books, and yeah, you just have to have faith that what they wrote is genuine. You know. Oh my god. Damn. How do I do that? The device is too hot. Use the overheating protection setting to improve live stream performance. I'll just reduce the brightness a bit. Okay, I can still read. That's good. Don't quit on me. See if I could get one more. Mr. Jones, it's easier to fool someone than to convince that they've been fooled. That's right. That's true. Yep, history is just someone's story, right? His story. Yeah, for sure next time I'm gonna post up see if I can show you guys. Can you guys see? Yeah, where that tree is? Yeah, probably post up right. There's a lot of shade right there. So that's probably gonna be my spot in the future. So we'll see. The truth doesn't care about your indoctrination. I mean, that's true. That's funny. Physics doesn't care about stories. There's another one. Physics doesn't care about your beliefs. Oh man. Riverside motherfuckers. The existence of Christ as a state of mind is real, yeah. Not as, I don't believe in the person that did magical things. That's where we differ, I guess. You believe in the literal man, and I believe in the idea of the man. You know, that's. And I don't even want to say I believe in the idea, but I think, you know, that's just my idea, you know, of how I perceive that. You know. Yeah, I was trying to tell when they brought up in the last conversation when I was recording and I didn't get the permission. I should have just simply said that there's no expectation of privacy in public. That simple. You know, kind of like caught me a little off guard. How can you? That's true. Natalie. You will have to dig up his grave, huh? They probably have his bones preserved somewhere, right? Supposedly. That way you actually do believe. Look, we have Jesus Christ bones preserved. I'm surprised they didn't do that. You know, that would have been more believable for people. You know, they should have had a skeleton preserved and say it was Jesus. That way they actually have something physical and not just stories. That's funny. The Bible is a science book. It's more of a what's the word? It's more of like a social science book. You know, the Bible, in my opinion, is more like a social science book, not a natural science book. You know, it's about the self. Literally, teach you how to be a better human. Teach you about your emotions, how to treat others, about lying, about deceiving, about, you know, doing good things. You know, literally it's a social science book, and it's you know, and then you got the heliocentric model, right, claiming that they have a science book too, you know. In reality, they have a formal science book. You know, again, you have the social science book, which is the Bible, and then you got the formal science book, which is the globe, and then you have the natural science, which is the reality we live in, which obviously shows us its level, you know. But again, people are just ignoring the facts, the simple facts. I've heard that before. I don't smoke weed no more, but I don't smoke any less. I forgot, it's one of the old songs. Oh, right? But, I mean, when they crucified him, right? What happened to his body after they burn it? I don't know the story behind what happened after the crucifixion, right? Because I did forget that he came back to life, right? But I mean, he had to die again. He's not here right now. So what happened to the bones? Oh, maybe God lifted him to heaven in front of everybody, huh? Maybe from the when he was crucified, again, I didn't read the Bible. I don't know what happened after when they killed him. Maybe God lifted his body into heaven, you know, because he didn't want people to mess with it. Right? I'm just trolling, you know, obviously. But there's a little bit of truth behind that. You could say that the heliocentrism is sun worship, mostly money worship, if you ask me though. I think money worship is like the main one. Literally, people worship money. Literally, it's like the number one thing that gets people up in the morning. Literally, I mean, people literally get up. Some people get up at 5 a.m., you know, 4 a.m., you know, 6, you know, for what? To make money, you know. Like literally, it's the motivation. It's what literally keeps the lies going, you know. Yeah, it's people's God, you know. It's what they worship, what they live for. People literally live for money, you know. If that's not a God, you literally live for it, like you worship it, you know. That's all you could think about. I mean, if that's not a God, then I don't know what is. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Oh, so he did ascend to heaven. So, but I'm talking about his physical body, though. You could say that about his soul, right? You could say, but what about his physical body? Did God lift his body into heaven, and the gates of heaven opened in the sky for his body to go in, and then it closed again? Is that what the Milky Way, right? Or what is that? That crack in the dome is, right? We can make up a bunch of stories about the crack in the dome, right? It's not even a crack though. We just say it's a crack, just because it, you know, it makes a line. Right? Oh, you missed me, Craig. Oh man. His physical body ascended to heaven. Oh damn, that's crazy. Oh damn. Oh my god. The wind is about to ascend. Oh my god. Oh. Eh, you could say that, or he walks on water. Eh. I mean, that's the dome being a toroidal field that covers us. I mean, it's more aligned with our understanding of physics, even though I don't know if that could create a physical barrier. You know, that's where it's like, you know, that's where like, you know, what do you mean by a toroidal field? You know, like, I don't know if what is a toroidal field? Is it a solid thing? Can you walk through it? Like, is it only a field like the electromagnetic field? Because the electromagnetic field cannot support or hold matter. You know, that's a fact. I can walk through it, right? So this container of the earth cannot be like an electric post. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, sound, you know, can create something like physical, right? That can affect matter, right? So does it have to be a physical dome? I guess it doesn't have to be. But then it would just become more abstract, you know, to think about something else. But again, it could be something else that's creating this containment, right? But again, it has to be solid regardless, you know, whether you know, whatever that is. Yeah, in my opinion, it has to be a solid containment. Earth system is magnetics. We live on a ring of magnet. There is, I guess, some evidence to show that, but there, you know, it hasn't been proven, I guess. People born with no eyes when on mushrooms see geometrical shapes in their head. Oh, that's pretty interesting. I need to look into that more. You know, it doesn't make sense, you know, being in a psychedelic state as a blind person, you know, if you experience anything. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, huh? That'll be pretty cool for these people, right? For the ones that experience it. I mean, mushrooms has a lot of medicinal properties to them, you know, a lot. If you think weed, you know, it's good for us, you know, and it can be very medicinal. Mushrooms are on another level, you know. Magic mushrooms, you know, I couldn't recommend them more. To be honest, I could not recommend them more. Like, they will be my number one recommendation to anyone that's in this truth journey, that's trying to basically get a better understanding of yourself, you know, and your mind. Basically, it's mushrooms, you know. Again, I don't think they're needed, you know. I think you can achieve this, you know, on our own. But talk about a booster, man. Like not the boosters that, you know, that everyone's getting. I'm talking about like an enhancer, like a life enhancer, you know. Like, it's like it's like it enhances your consciousness, you know. It's like, you know, obviously in a positive way, you know. Like, it's just I can't even explain it with words. You just have to try it, you know. That's a good question, huh? How do they know what they see if they've never seen, right? Well, you could assume that, I mean, it's just darkness, right? So if they start to see something different than the dark, I would assume that's what they're talking about, right? But again, you know, it's interesting. But yeah, mushrooms are definitely life-changing. They could be life-changing, you know. Again, it's you have to be on the right path already mentally. You have to be honest with yourself. You know, you can't really have any biases or any beliefs, you know, in my opinion. You know, and if you do and you actually take shrooms, you'll quickly realize that having beliefs just holds you back. You know, that's another thing, you know, like you realize on it, you know. Even if you're not in that state, you're going to realize it, you know. Again, you have to be just somewhat honest with yourself, you know, and you'll get that. You've only done them how much are they? Where can one get some? How many grams? So, base truth, obviously they're illegal in the States, if you stay in the States. But you can actually buy spores, which come in a syringe, and spores grow into mushrooms. But you can legally buy spores online. It's not illegal, so you can legally buy. What's illegal is growing them. But spores on their own, you could buy them online. There's a lot of different websites you can buy them from, and that's the best and safest way, in my opinion, because they are illegal. So to grow them yourself, you know, I've done it myself. You know, it's actually pretty easy. You know, you just need to have the right environment to grow them. But they literally grow within 2 months, within 2.5 months. You could go from spores to fully grown mushrooms. You know. And yeah, you know, that's and you can go online on YouTube. Literally, there's videos that show you step by step on how to prepare like the brown rice flour cakes, because that's the method I use. You could use different substrates, but I use the BRF, the brown rice flour, and it worked good for me, you know. But if you don't want to go through all that, you're gonna have to find some kind of connection. You know, I hate to say it, through some drug dealers. You know, and because usually drug dealers have connections to mushroom connects, but yeah, they usually, I mean, it depends. It costs anywhere from $25 to $40 an eighth, which is about $10 to $15 a gram. You know, that's how much, you know. But again, you know, it's all on you at the end of the day. And I would recommend, obviously, only taking 1 gram the first time, you know. And once you're familiar with the effects of it, you could up it to 1.5 or even 2 grams from there, you know. And eventually, you want to get to a high dose, you know, over 4 grams, 5 grams. You know, 5 grams would be. I've done 5 grams like 3 times, you know, and oh my god, yeah, each one of those times was again, you can't really explain it with words. The experience is pretty profound, in other words. Like, you know, but yeah, obviously you want to start off with 1 gram, and then, up it from there. Because I think if you just jump in 5 grams for the first time, you could probably have like a panic attack. Again, if you're not familiar with the feeling, right? And happy my words about something. Yeah, definitely I'm tripping constantly, and I don't leave my city or have any luggage. Would you say you have to be in the right place mentally? I used to get nervous even thinking about taking them, horror stories I've heard in the past. So being in a good place mentally obviously is better than not being in a good place mentally. Like, that way you could have better control, of your mind and stuff like that. Because if you're in a bad place mentally, it can be easier for you to like focus on a bad thought and just kind of grow, and then that's when you can have a bad trip. But here's my opinion: there's never a wrong time to take it. So again, yes, being in a positive and a good state of mind is better, but even if you take them in a bad state, in my opinion, I still think you'll gain something from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've taken them before, and I've had these bad trips before that people talk about. I've had those trips. I've gone through the feelings that people feel like they're panicking, right? And like I don't feel right, Like, I've gone through all that, so I'm very you could say I'm kind of comfortable with it, Like, I don't let myself go, basically. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's better if you're in a good positive state of mind. But it's never a wrong time. Oh, I said ran 5 miles after I saw. Oh my god, that one went over there. Up here in Canada, it's bunk sauce. For most weeks here, I'm moving out to Vancouver next spring. Can't wait to connect with many more hippie-minded individuals and those who love. Nice one. I can buy them in a shop in NYC. That's cool. I mean, the mushrooms are kind of going through the phase right now that we went through like 10 years ago, where it is being used for medicinal purposes. There is a lot of states that they are legal for medicinal purposes. There is a few states. California is not one of them, but eventually it will be. It's only a matter of time. But yeah, no, that's good that they are becoming legal. I mean, same here, David. I mean, my bad trip, it wasn't really a bad trip, at least for me, because I kind of like, got control of myself. I understood what was going on. I didn't let my mind control me, right? I had to control my mind at the end of the day. So I still learned from the bad trip. So was it a bad trip? To me, if I learned from it, it wasn't a bad trip. And that's what I'm saying, that you can never really have a bad trip, because the only way is if you just ignore it. You know what I'm saying? But if you actually acknowledge what you were feeling, what you were going through, what you were thinking, and actually acknowledge it and rationalize it, you're going to learn from that bad trip, which then turns into a good trip, because you actually learned something, about yourself, so that's just the way I see it, Bed today. Anything that causes one to question things or think freely, the government wants to keep us from not using our minds. Yep, that's true. Alright, we got 2 hours and 2 minutes. Alright, okay, I got 12% on the action camera. I'm gonna wait another 10 or 15 and see if anybody else stops. And if not, just call it. Yeah, if somebody does stop, I'm gonna switch the battery on the GoPro. That way, you know, I don't miss anything. But if nobody stops, then I'm just gonna call it. We'll see right now. The next 10 minutes or so. Government literally means mind control. Yep. The right mindset, environment, friends, people around you, music shall make the experience much more palatable. No, yeah, that's true. Ooh, yeah, it is a little warm now, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I thought I brought a sweater. So, oh my god. On the table. Oh, and so if you guys, I don't know, some of you already seen it, but in the last live stream, you know how I mentioned that some of my property was stolen on camera. I uploaded that video already on my second channel. I usually link it in the description of all my videos here. So if anybody wants to check that out, I actually did a perspective experiment, you know, and I was gonna do a second perspective experiment with the boats going over the curb, but I was gonna use, you know, the RC car, just, you know, driving it away on the field and showing how, you know, it disappears because of perspective, right, and refraction or whatever, you know, the atmospheric, you know, conditions. And yeah, somebody stole the RC car, you know, so I got that all on camera. So if you want to check that out, you know, it's on my second channel. It was kind of funny though, like just looking back at it, you know, how they, yeah, like I drove up to the car with his little moped, his little pocket bike, and drove off, you know, like it's kind of funny in a way, but pretty fucked up, you know. Nat, if possible, can you link my second channel on the chat here if possible, just in case anybody wants to go check it out. Either way, I'll still have it in the description. It's in the description of all my videos, the link to my second channel. So there you go. Natalie posted the link, whoever wants to check that out. Yeah. All right, I think that's gonna have to be it for today. For sure, I do kind of want to do another live stream during the week, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna go to university or I don't know yet. So yeah, I'm gonna start to pack it up. All right. All right. Thanks, Circadian Haze. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't enjoy it either, so I'm glad, helps others and it makes people's days, that's good. All right, this is gonna be it. Thanks for everybody that tuned in, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.